Hello, this is Sul Lee from Sul Lee Law Firm. I'll be the attorney who will be conducting the consultation for you. Today, before we do our consultation, I would like to give you a short advice to maximize the value of this consultation. Before you come, I want you to think about the value of your problem. If you're entering into a contract that is $5 million or a $50,000, those are the value of your contract. Some of the litigation has value. Some of the litigation actually states on the document that discuss about how much damage they're seeking. So I do want you to think about what are the damages, what is the value of this case that you're consulting about. Some clients focus so much on attorney fees, they forget that the goal here is to solve the issue that you have. Based on that, your attorney fee should be assessed properly. But if you focus too much on attorney fee, the goal start to become, am I going to hire the cheapest attorney? That's again not the goal.
Before your consultation, you should consider what your goals are, both in the big picture and in the immediate term. By big picture, I mean ask yourself some very basic questions. Why are you going to a lawyer in the first place? What are you trying to accomplish? What's your hope for this legal engagement? What's your concern? What's your fear? Why would you go to a lawyer? What would happen if you didn't go to a lawyer? Once you have those big picture concepts addressed, and by the way, they can take some time. They're very easy to say, but a lot of these things are emotionally fraught. Although there is definitely a bottom line to business, much of the legal dispute that comes around from a business has to do with a clash of values. So it's important before you engage a lawyer for you to think very seriously about what is it that you value, what's priority.
A lot of people want to either, I don't want to be in this litigation anymore, or some people are like, I want to have a successful business and this is the business I think is going to get me there. I want you to describe what your goal is in this consultation so we can actually suggest you whether we can get there or not, or what are some of the steps we have to take in order to get to that goal.
What do you, as a potential client, hope to accomplish from the consultation with the lawyer itself? Perhaps what you're seeking is simply someone with a legal background to prepare a document for you. Another example might be that you know right away you're probably going to have a lawyer appear for you in court. When you walk into that consultation, you probably have as the concept in the back of your head that you're going to have an attorney represent you in a court of law. Another example would be that you need to have a lawyer kind of by your side, ready to answer questions for you as your business starts to change or as it addresses ongoing problems. In any case, once you've done your homework before the consultation, you've thought about what your big picture goals are and what your immediate goals are, you'll have the clarity you need to get the most out of that initial consultation.
There's a reason you called, and most of the time, that is because you realize that where you are is not a good place. It's a mixture of feelings, and you have to distinguish what is it that is going on. Behind that feeling, it could be a fear. It could be the worst story that you ever thought of. There's a reason you're not falling asleep at night. I need you to think about what is that fear. And I want you to describe that when you do come to the consultation, because it is important for us to understand what is the fear that you have, so we can address that if that fear is real or not, so you don't become anxious throughout this process.
You've already done the emotional hard work before the consultation by evaluating what's really important to you, both in the big picture and immediately. With that out of the way, you can keep the meeting on track and focused by sticking to the facts. Don't ascribe intent or guesses as to why people did what they did. Stick to the facts. The quicker we can get through the facts, the faster we can move on to the legal options. That's the reason why simply removing emotion from the factual recitation is an effective way to get the most out of your initial consultation.
Lastly, at this consultation, I want you to give us a very honest and an overview of your business. The things that you never thought of could be impacted by the decision you're making throughout this process. More details you give it to us. For example, if you're a technology company, there's a technology that is involved. Some employees may know about it. So if you're making a decision about your employee handbook, you may want to include that. So I do want you to think thoroughly as into what are some of the background that is important in your business and describe it to us. Even if it's not that important, please describe overview as to how your business work out, because some of the advice we give you is going to be basis of your decision, and that decision can have different implication in your business.
One more thing to remember is to simply be patient. Oftentimes when you're speaking with a lawyer about your legal issue, it can seem as though you're being asked the same question multiple ways. It can also seem as though the attorney is fixated on a specific set of details that you don't think are important to the way you see the facts. This is because the lawyer may be running through an internal checklist, and sometimes the law has very black and white guidelines that need to be met. That's the reason for some of these discursive questions that seem to take away from the big picture. Rest assured, the end goal remains the same, and that is simply to provide you with the consultation you need to evaluate whether or not you want to move forward with the proposed course of action. Simply get prepared. That takes place by basically doing three things. One, create a timeline. Go through the facts as you know them, think about what's relevant, work with them on a computer so you can reorganize them, organize them in a simple chronology. Oftentimes when you're wrapped up emotionally in a story, what pops up first, it may not fit in a chronology. Use a little bit of discipline, put those things down in a timeline, it'll help you organize your thoughts. Find the relevant documents. This is going to be different depending on what sort of engagement you're looking at, whether it's a lawsuit, whether it's a letter writing issue, whether it's a demand letter or a contract draft. The relevant documents are going to vary a little bit, so just think about them. If it's an employment issue, for example, you might need to bring the employment contract or the offer letter, or the communications between attorney and between the employer and the employee. Something like a dispute with a competitor. Maybe you need to bring examples of where this competitor has used something belonging to you. The next thing you should do is, once you have the timeline and the documents, add details. This is your case, it's your concern. You know the case better than we ever will because you lived it. Add those details into the structure that you have built out of a chronology and key documents. With that, you can arrive at the consultation ready to present it to the lawyer and have the lawyer's input in terms of how the legal system can help them.
Usually our consultations are about 30 minutes to 1 hour. We break down it to some agenda as into, hey, first describe it to us, what is that you're going on? There's a reason you called us. We want to hear that reason. And then based on that story, we make a plan as to how we think we can solve the problem. Sometimes we'll be able to give you a pretty straightforward answer. Sometimes we cannot really give you an answer until we see everything. And sometimes we just do not know until we actually get into the case. That is the reality of it. We won't be able to give you all the solution at the spot. But what we want to do in this consultation is make sure you walk away with a plan and you know what to do next in order to get closer to your goal. That is really the purpose of this consultation. We can reach the goal together through our service, and also to figure out if our service can be a good fit for you to reach your goal.
Thank you for taking a few moments to go over what to expect at your initial legal consultation. Welcome to the Sul Lee Law Firm, and we look forward to working with you.
Welcome to Sul Lee Law Firm, and thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to represent you. We like to assure you that all our attorneys and our staff here are here to serve you and to solve your problem. We're here to help you, so please do not hesitate to ask any questions you may have.